Assalamualaikum everyone. I'd like to share with you about this topic regarding peace building. So what about this peace building? Peace building refers to the comprehensive approach to addressing the root causes of conflict and building sustainable peace. That's why this is very helpful, especially in our course and of course in the practice as peace educator, as peace advocate. So once again, addressing the root causes of conflict and building sustainable peace. So if there are conflict, so we have to address that one about the so-called peace building. It also includes a wide range of activities aimed to addressing the underlying political, economic, social, and cultural factors that contribute to the outbreak and escalation of conflict. So, especially on this, if there is conflict, political, economic, can be social, cultural conflict, so papasok itong tinatawag nating peace building na mga activities para ma-address itong problemang ito, para hindi na madagdagan yung escalation of conflict. Kaya nga ang dami-daming mga NGO na tumutulong, especially in building peace, building sustainable peace. Then there are also a lot of definitions. Peace building refers to the activities and processes that are intended to prevent an outbreak, escalation, continuation of recurrence of violent conflict. So, yun na yung mga activities na yun. Okay, ng peace building. Kaya nga, it's also a process intended to prevent, para ma-prevent itong outbreak, escalation, and continuation and recurrence of the violent conflict. Gera-gera, darido, that's one. Kailangan din itong activities na ito. Then, peace building is a complex, multidimensional, long-term process. So remember, long-term process that aims to address the underlying causes of conflict and to build sustainable peace. So it was mentioned in the previous slide, building also a sustainable peace. That's why though it is a long process itong peace building, but the aim is to build a sustainable peace. Then peace building is a comprehensive and integrated approach to addressing the root causes and violent conflict, promoting sustainable development and preventing that recurrence of violence. So once again, addressing the root causes of violence, nasabi na natin kanina, promoting sustainable peace, then preventing the recurrence of the violence. So para ma-prevent, kailangan itong peace building para hindi na babalik itong violence na ito. Then peace building is also a process of creating the necessary conditions for sustainable peace and security by addressing the underlying causes of conflict, promoting good governance and human rights. Once again, itong promoting good governance and human rights and supporting economic and social development. So this is all about peace building, to have a sustainable peace and security and promoting also good governance. Kaya pag maganda yung pamamalakad, and I think hindi tayo magka-problema. In our situation nowadays in the farm, what is your observation? Di ba may problema because of leadership? Though this is more on political aspect, but still a problem. Okay? Economic, of course, social development, that's also part. Okay, that's why we need these so-called peace-building activities. Then peace building is the development of constructive personal, group, and political relationship across ethnic, religious, class, national, and racial boundaries. So walang pinipili ito. Development of constructive personal, group, political relationship across ethnic, religious, kaya nga maging sino ka man, anumang lahi mo, anumang tribo mo, basta ito nakakatulong itong activity na tinatawag nating peace building. So it aims to resolve injustice in non-violent ways. Once again, aims to resolve injustice in non-violent ways. and to transform the structural conditions that generate deadly conflict. So, once again, resolve injustice in non-violent way. I think you remember Gandhi, resolving conflict in a non-violent way. So, pwedeng mangyari yun. So, this is also one of the activities of peace building. Then, peace building can also include conflict prevention, preventing conflict management, conflict resolution and transformation, and post-conflict reconciliation. So, ito yung malaking tulong ang peace building din. And I think you have a lot of idea about conflict prevention, conflict management, conflict resolution, conflict transformation, and the post-conflict reconciliation. I think you have also a subject about that. Okay? Then, the methods included in peace building vary depending on the situation and the agent of peace building. So, depende yung strategy, depende yung method kung kailan papasok itong activity na peace building. Depende nga sa sitwasyon ito. Then, successful peace building activities create an environment supportive of self-sustaining. Once again, create an environment supportive of self-sustaining, reconcile opponents, then prevent conflict from restarting, integrate civil society, address underlying structural and political and societal issue. So, ang ganda, if you want to be successful in these activities, dapat mayroon itong tinatawag, the supportive, environment supportive and self-sustaining, like reconciliation, prevent conflict from restarting, integrate civil society, kaya nga lahat dapat magtatrabaho dito, then address the underlying structural and societal issue. Then there are elements of peace building. Take note of this element. First is the conflict resolution. I think you have a lot of idea on that. What is conflict resolution? Security sector reform, that's another element. Institution building. Then economic and social development, that's another element. Human rights and the rule of law. Then governance and democracy. Then gender mainstreaming. Ito yung ganda itong gender mainstreaming. And I think meron din kang subject dito about gender mainstreaming. Okay, then trauma healing and reconciliation. Usually in a war or in a conflict, right after the war, ito yung may mga ginagawa na trauma healing and reconciliation. So these are the elements of peace building. Kaya nga, what's the importance of this peace building? Sinabi na natin kanina ito, addressing the root causes of conflict. Take note, this is the first one important of peace building, addressing the root causes of conflict, then promoting stability and security, then supporting economic and social development. It was also mentioned in the previous topic, then enhancing democratic governance. Kaya nga, pag ang pamamalakad may problema, so magkalabo-labo din. Then, promoting human rights and the rule of law. Binanggitan natin yan. Supporting gender equality. Why? Because nowadays may problema. There are still some na pag babae ka, parang you are a second-class citizen. Dapat hindi naman ganon. Kaya nga, we have to be equal. Then, healing and reconciliation. So, these are the importance of peace building. Next. So, in addition, peace building activities included in peace building vary depending on the situation and the agent of peace building. I think sinabi na natin kanina. Then, pre-conflict peace building intervention aims to prevent the start of violent conflict. These strategies involve the variety of actors and sectors in order to transform the conflict. Even though the definition of peace building includes pre conflict intervention. In practice, most peace-building intervention are post-conflict. So, pwede naman using the peace-building ma-prevent itong conflict, pero the usual ang nangyayari after may kaguluhan, ito na yung papasok, ang peace-building in intervening the post-conflict. So, ibig sabihin nangyari na, but still, we can prevent. Okay? Kaya nga, peace building can be prevention also. Itong matatawag. Kaya nga, pre-conflict intervention din ito. Then, however, many peace building scholars advocate an increased focus of pre-conflict peace building in the future. So, kailangan dito according to the scholars na para wala ng gulo, ma-prevent na, so dapat may gagawin ng mga activities about peace building. Trauma healing, o wala namang trauma kung wala pang nagkagulo. But the psychological aspect, social aspect, especially the development. If there is development, there is a sustainable peace. So yun, napiprevent yung tinatawag natin conflict. Then according to Barnett, divide post-conflict peace building into 3 dimensions. So that's according to Barnett. There are 3 dimensions: stabilizing post-conflict zone, restoring state institution, and dealing with the social and economic issues. So yun yung the division according to Barnett with this 3 dimension of peace building. Once again, the 3 dimension, stabilizing the post-conflict zone. So kung may dera na, natapos na, i-stabilization, then i-restore yung state institutions, then dealing with the social and economic issues. So those are also the 3 dimensions according to Barnett. Then peace building aims also at promoting structural peace. Of course, that's one also another aim. The prevention of direct violence, but are also working to mitigate structural violence. Then another one is reduction of hierarchical relations. Kaya minsan kung sino yung nasa taas, may magka-problema din kung hindi marunong mag-lead. Then movement towards social injustice, which occurs at political structures as well as the economic structures. Then peace building has both structural also and cultural dimension. Why it matters? Because peace building redresses these inequalities and promote the realization of human potentials for all members of the society. Then peace building also matters because those with few resources have severe restrictions. Yun. Then peace building and peacemaking tend to be reactive and may fail to deal with power differentials. So yun yung tinatawag nating aim of peace building para ma-promote yung tinatawag nating structural peace. Then structural peace building, this is the changing of structure of violence to structure of peace. So once again, structural violence it's a change from the structure of violence, dapat i-change into the structure of peace. Ito yung trabaho ng structural peace building. So the structural peace building is a social psychological process of transforming. Take note of this, sabi nga, structural peace building, changing structural of violence to structure of peace. Then the second, relatively permanent and equal relationship among the collectivities in a social structure. Then to of group relations were more equitable control over the politico-economic resources needed to satisfy the basic needs. So ito yung pangangailangan para itong structures of violence matransform into the structures of peace. So, yun yung tinatawag nating structural peace building. What about this structural peace? Take note. Absence of structural violence is structural peace. Ayon. If the absence of structural violence absence is structural peace. Then structural peace is marked by egalitarian configurations. Decision-making powers over the resource allocations are distributed equally in the society. Then this is also a condition, contains social differentiation, but the intergroup variations are horizontal rather than vertical. So horizontal, ibig sabihin, para sa lahat, hindi yung nasa taas lang. Okay? Then the primary aim of peace workers with a structural perspective is to reconstruct vertical system towards more equal systematic configuration. Okay? Then, example of this, an equal distribution of agricultural land ownership in the country gives the rise of economic misery. Kaya nga in the Philippines, may problema tayo. Okay? Especially itong the distribution of the land. Our IPs nagka-problema din dito. Unequal distribution of agricultural land ownership. So, siguro maririnig natin, dating presidente ngayon, namimigay sila ng land, but still, the problem is unequal distribution. Okay, kaya nga sinasabi, in a country gives the rise of economic misery. Kasi minsan, kawawa talagang mga pobre. Then we have the so-called psychological aspect of peace building. Personal, social, and global. That's a psychological aspect of peace building. It can be personal, it can be social, and global. Why is it important to contribute a various level of peace building? That's a question. Then the approach of peace building, which integrates full range of psychological factors at every stage, level, and sector of peace building, puts the human being back at the center of peace building. So the very, very, very important actors is ang tao. Effectively engages with deep core driving force of conflict, violence, and peace, transforming aggression, depression, trauma, division, and greed, and strengthening well-being, agency, hope, and connectedness. Then it also peace and creates excellence at a very stage. Then resulting transformations is profound and sustainable. So this is more on the psychological aspect. It can be personal, social, and global. And this division of personal and psychological factors form a cornerstone of driving force for effective structural and economic change, for more peaceful and just and prosperous world. That's what we need, a sustainable peace, structural peace, so that we'll have a peaceful world. What about this personal level of contribution? Listen with the intent to understand. So yan. Kagaya sa atin, we can listen. Makinig lang para maintindihan. Then, be helpful to others if you can. Be to others. Be helpful to others. Help your neighbor. Give the ayuda. Sabi nga, walk with their dog, clean up their yard. So yon, magtulungan. Okay, that's more on personal. Then, mediate and invite others to middle state. So basta invite, just help others. Then say I'm sorry more frequently during disputes. Kahit sa pamilya, your brothers and sisters, your parents, please say sorry. That's your personal contribution when you talk about peace building. Then study nonviolence. You have the alternative dispute resolution, conflict management, conflict resolution, peace studies, attend mediation or conflict resolution training, produce more peace psychologists. Kaya nga, pag magka-graduate kayo, this is your responsibility. Join a lot of training because we can be a peace psychologist. Though we are not psychologists, but in our own little way, we can do it. Okay? Take interest in your city, country's political situation. Kailangan mang mag-usap? Yes, para may alam. Then make a personal commitment to nonviolence. Yan, personal commitment to nonviolence. Organize community project, clean up drive, then plant in a garden or plant a garden. So yon, that can help, especially in the personal level. What about the social level? Itulong. This can include all part to recognize the burdens of long-term violence. So magtulungan na ito. Engaging local in the development and implementation of the plans. Kaya nga, makialam ka in your barangay, in your community, para may maitulong ka din. That's more on social level. Then looking for ways to use the conflict as an opportunity to constructive change. Okay? Tulong, look for the ways. Itong conflict na ito, it can be an opportunity for constructive change. Then connecting local and international peace-building groups to share resources. That's why all the NGOs, yun yung tulong nila, of course, for peace building. Kaya nga, minsan may mga problema din tayo sa mga NGOs kasi the question of sustainability may problema or baka mayroon din silang then identifying needs power difference among various social group. So yun yung contribution sa social community level. What about global? The concept of the ideal state of peace within among the people and nations on earth. The different cultures, religion, philosophies, organization have varying concepts on how such a state would come about. So yun, pangmalakihan ito, global ito. Magkaiba-iba man tayo, different culture, different religion, philosophies, organization, iba-ibang konsepto, pero pwedeng magtulungan. Then various religious and secular organizations have stated aim of achieving world peace through addressing human rights, technology, education, engineering, medicine, or diplomacy used as an end to all forms of fighting. So yan, gamitin ito worldwide. In order to achieve the world peace, kailangan i-address the problem on human rights. Okay? Ang idol ninyo, because of the human rights violation, nandoon na. Okay? Sabi, dapat dito lang, but well, that's part of politics, that's part also, sila nang nakakaalam doon. Okay? In education, anong magagawa natin? Maitulong natin. Engineering, the BDC global. And since 1950, the aim to resolve conflict without war. The have centered numerous military conflicts since then. So, yan ang malaking problema. Okay? Since 1945. But the UN is constantly trying to work on global peace and also identify psychological aspects of various peace-building activities. So at least, worldwide, mararamdaman din natin ang ginawa sa UN para makamtan talaga itong tinatawag nating global peace. So yun yung makontribute natin in our own little way. So personal, social, or community as well as the global level. Then we have the so-called environmental peace building. What about this? Peace building entails a broad variety of initiatives ranging from the negotiations of peace settlement, the post-conflict reconstruction, and other measures to facilitate the transition to peace and ultimate shift from post-conflict reconstruction to a long economic and social development. And I think we mentioned that one in previous slides. Once again, ultimate shift from post-conflict reconstruction to a long-term economic and social development. Then some conflicts have related directly to or been fueled by valuable natural resources such as timber and minerals. So that's why there's a problem also in the environment, even here in our country. If you still remember Gina Lopez, the DNR director, namatay lang siya pero grabe yung pagmamahal niya sa environment. Mga peace building ginawa niya about environment. Pero maraming kumukontra sa kanila. Like mining. Kasi mga politicians man ang mga leader sa mining. As well as yung tinatawag nating legal logging. Okay? As well as the illegal logging. Then, many instances, all hostilities can flare up over control or use of land and other natural resources. Similarly, an inability to deliver key services like water, food, shelter, and other resources dependent essential for life can destabilize the fragile societies. So, yan yung problema. Kaya nga, pag may lindol, may baha, magka-problema dito. Kaya nga sinasabi, inability to deliver key services, water, food, shelter, and the rest na kailangan ng mga tao. Okay? Then the successful peace-building initiatives that recognize their challenges and help communities construct systems for better management of both resources and related conflict are desperately required. Okay? Better management of both resources and related conflict. So yun yung kailangan din if our peace building will be successful. Then properly manage high-value natural resources such as land and water can also act as an asset for economic recovery, whereby development and employment opportunities become integrated into a participatory and inclusive approach to peace building. So, kaya nga kailangan talaga, especially our God's creation, the Mother Earth. Pag okay yan, maraming matutulungan. Kaya nga nagdepende din talaga yan sa leader. So, during the post-war traumatic experiences, people often experience trauma during war. Over time, this can develop also the conditions we now recognize as post-traumatic stress disorder, the PTSD. Sufferers can experience severe anxiety, flashbacks, nightmares, insomnia, and anger amongst other symptoms. So yon yung may mga traumatic experience after the war. The war meant loss of home or more than half of the population, but it also meant loss of life to many. So yan ang problema. Then missing, not dead, another extreme traumatic experience. Then as long as it has been proven that missing person is actually dead, the family cannot go through mourning process, say goodbye. O kaya nga, ito yung nagka-problema, especially yung mga nawawala lang. Hindi alam kung patay na ba or buhay pa. Kaya nga mas maganda makita para may proseso bago malibing. Okay? In order to close yung mga nasasaktan para maproseso. Pero pag wala yon, still missing yung the traumatic experience, ang magka-problema talaga. Then the loss of trust in a safe, unpredictable world prompted by the betrayal of one's previously friendly neighbors is one important traumatic experience. So that's another one. Then, very less refugees and displaced have actually returned to their homes for less than expected. Kaya nga, nagkatrauma sa lugar, ayaw na natin dito. Halimbawa, binabaha o may gera, especially may gera. So, yon ang problema. Ayaw na namin doon sa lugar na yon kasi grabe ang traumatic experience. So, nagka-trauma kami, magsabi ang mga tao. Okay, especially may gera. Then, traumatic experiences, most frequent traumatic experiences were those related to, take note this, related to itong traumatic experiences, ethnic cleansing. So, galing yan dyan. Then, life-threatening expulsion from the loss at home. Then, long periods of hunger and thirst. So, that's a traumatic experience. The betrayal of neighbors so often actively help with expulsion. Ay, ang problema din yan. Then, of course, of these experiences, the betrayal is often mentioned by the woman in their most damaging experience. So that's according to research. So ito yung mga traumatic experiences sa mga nakaranas. Then we have also the psychosocial assistance under the post-war condition. Under the condition of mental health and human rights can be promoted by community or related intervention, oriented intervention. So malaking tulong yan. Then the task-oriented intervention, that's another help. Then the psychological-oriented group intervention, that can be a psychosocial assistance under the post-war. Then the psychological-oriented group interventions such as creating self-help groups for family members of the missing. Then counseling interventions. So yan yung maaring magawa na assistance under the post-war conditions. Then the intensive psychotherapy intervention. So once again, these are the 5 interventions in a post-social assistance under the post-war conditions. Community-oriented intervention, task-oriented intervention, psychological-oriented group intervention, counseling intervention, and sensitive psychotherapy intervention. So these are the 5 social assistance under post-war conditions. So do not forget on that. Then what about the role of peace psychologists? Can we be a peace psychologist? In our little way, yes. Okay? Through training siguro, in the future kayo. Pwede. Iba naman talaga yung talagang registered psychologist, but we can be a peace psychologist in our own little way. If we have training, if we have background, we can do it. Kaya nga, peace psychologists can take their inspiration from liberation pedagogies, the central purpose of which is the empowerment of individuals and communities to challenge and change the world rather than adapt to unjust situation. So, pwede nating magawa ito as peace psychologists. Transforming peace education to address social justice presents challenges. Then peace psychologists can provide important leadership analysis, activism, and support for the crucial task of building sustainable peace. So, in our own little way, once again, we can be a peace psychologist. Then the role of psychologists in peace building, analyzing the causes of violence, rebuilding the war-torn communities, then promoting social justice and armed control, teaching and practicing nonviolent conflict resolution, synthesizing ourselves our own ethnocentrism, consulting with peacekeeping operations, ensuring gender parity, addressing ethnic identities and hostilities, empowering alternative voices, and building environmental security are just few of the numerous methods in peace psychology can work on. So medyo mabigat ito. But can we do it in our own little way? If you become professional, yes, you can. What you know, and of okay? So with that, I hope you learned something about this topic, about peace building. Thank you very much. God bless everyone. Dalaygon ang Diyos.